Can you just let me finish?
Okay, well, I thought I had, but go ahead.
Okay, y'all, let's take turns and let each other finish.
Welcome to Let Me Finish, the podcast where three minds give their unfiltered and sometimes unpopular opinions on all the craziness going on in our lives and in this world. We're your hosts, Jillian,
Janice.
And Michael.
Settle in and let's take a deep dive.
Okay, guys, we are back with another fresh episode of Let Me Finish. I'm your host, Janice.
I'm Jillian.
And I'm Michael.
All right, guys, we're just gonna get this thing started. Just started off by going through our weeks. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, Michael.
So yesterday I was working this music festival in McKinney, Texas Music Revolution. And I, through my employer, I had to pour beers in 95-degree heat.
Oh, right. You said you were bartending.
Yes, and I had never bartended in my life.
So it wasn't inside?
No, it was outdoors.
Oh, hell no.
It was under a tent, but that didn't do.
That doesn't do shit.
Doesn't do shit.
Did it have like fans?
We had fans. We had two fans.
That were
facing
blowing a
us,
whole bunch of hot air.
Yeah, precisely. So I was bartending. I mean, it was just beer. There was no liquor, but it was awful. It was awful. It was terrible.
He's like, it was the most.
It was the worst
awful
experience. And I had to be there I was supposed to be there 12 to 12. I mean, that's 12 hours for people that are not good at math like me. That's 12 hours. But I came in early. So my boss was like, you can dip out early if you want. And I was like, how early? She's like, when do you want? I was like, now. And she's like, okay. And so I left.
What time did you leave?
I left at 5:30.
I mean, you were there from 12.
I was there from 10 to 5:30. I got there early to help set up.
Oh.
So I was like, if
I
I'm
bet
there,
they weren't expecting you to say like right this
I mean, they could have
second.
just said no.
Michael's just like, they're expecting you to be like 8.
Yeah, but I was like,
You're like,
now's
now?
good. That's good.
If everything's good, I'll take off now.
Keep in mind, not to get gross, but I was very sweaty. All of us were sweaty. Like
No,
all
that's
of
what
us.
I'm saying.
Like,
I've
it's just gross.
Been to those music festivals, especially in the summer. Definitely when I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
Because nowadays I'm like, fuck that. But yeah, no, I know how sweaty it can be.
And you're dealing with drunk
all you're
people.
doing is pouring drinks, standing stagnant.
Yes.
Waiting for the next customer. And then sometimes there's a line and people are pushing, rushing, gotta pee, gotta get this drink.
And it was country music, and it was not my tea. So I was.
Oh, so it wasn't even enjoyable for the music for you.
It was Willie Nelson's son, and it was Lyle Lovett. So. Or like Lyle hate it.
Did you get tipped? Did they tip the?
Yeah, they tipped us
tip
out.
you guys out?
I haven't gotten tipped yet, but yes, I'm supposed to be getting tipped probably tomorrow.
Maybe it'll be a nice little tip.
I hope so because
Like
it was a
$4.
It was a $2 event, a $2-day event.
Mm-hmm.
So I did it yesterday too, and I pulled
Tiring.
I'm not feeling so hot, which is not a lie. But she's like, do you want to leave early
Hopefully
again?
they don't listen to this. I hated the event and I lied to get out of there.
Well, it's the truth. I mean, to be honest, I really wasn't feeling well. So I left early again. And this time I left around 5:45, 6. So like at the same time.
Did you get there at 10 again?
No, I got there at 12. So I was only there shorter. But to be fair,
Wait, was it coverage, right? There was coverage?
There was plenty of coverage. And she said my boss said she was going to release people anyway because it was too slow. So she was like, she said earlier, I'm going to release some of y'all. And I was like, please.
little bigger.
I'll volunteer.
It'd be funny, your eyes are just like big.
Yeah. If it was inside, it wouldn't be so bad. But because it was outside, it was just.
And it was hot yesterday.
It was 95 degrees.
Jesus.
Not fun. And also, just drunk people, they're not.
Especially drunk and I can't get like a little buzz on.
Right. Well, actually,
Like-
that's the thing. I was allowed to drink, so I did.
Oh.
But
was that made it a little bit more
it made
bearable?
it a little bit more bearable, but like hot and beer and hot.
Was the beer hot?
No, the beer wasn't hot, but like being hot.
Because I was like, that would make me feel cool, like an ice cold beer at least.
Yeah. Well, they're very, very frothy. Those kegs. I don't know if you've ever like poured from
You gotta pour it right, Michael. That's your bartending lack
No.
skills. Lack of bartending skills, and you gotta tilt that cup.
No, I tilted
and then put the spout right next to the edge.
Yeah, so I learned because I only poured beers for myself.
You're like,
obviously.
I'm fine with the phone.
By myself I can do it, but when I do it, it's
In a pressured
when
situation.
they're watching you pour it and they're paying for it. It's like, don't fuck up. And so what I would do is it would turn
Pour
it,
out
but then
the
would
foam.
It would get, by the time that I turned it the right way, it was already foamy, and I was like, fuck it. So I had to toss a few back and be like,
I'll just keep this one for me.
yeah, this one's for me. But I mean, I survived. I made a bunch of beer. I poured a bunch of beer, and so yeah, that was.
you did it for 6 hours, 7 hours,
for 2 days. Yeah, so
each day. So I mean, you obviously did a decent job.
I did a decent job. No one.
They weren't like, "Hey, Michael, come over here."
No.
Hey, we're gonna have you greet the people. Yeah. Just come out and try and draw them in.
Yeah, no, that would have been embarrassing. No,
just want to take you off.
But yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, so that's what my weekend was, and yeah. So
that was your whole So not even whole week. I mean, that's
that was the highlight of my week.
I know.
That's the highlight, the low light.
That's what I feel. That's what I feel like when I ask about like the week. I'm always like, there's a lot that went on. Y'all don't want to hear everything.
Right.
I just try to give you guys the interesting
nitty-gritty
stuff.
Yeah. So that's me.
Let's see here. So I started a summer session for my workout classes. So my instructor, she was like on the next level shit on Thursday. So I'm just like, girl, calm down. I still got a couple weeks to go. Please don't like put everything into the first day of the session. And it was really crowded in there, so I'm not used to that. So I'm just like, there's a lot of people in here. Let's see how long they last. But
I did it when it first starts. Everybody's into their fitness
gung ho, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And so, and I get
summertime.
And once you've taken a class for a bunch of times with the same instructor, you get very territorial about your spot. So I'm like, I know first session, first class of a new session, I'm very territorial. I make sure I get there early so I can get my usual spot. But she will be like, hey, somebody usually stays there. She'll save her spot.
Does she really?
Yeah, she does. Because I remember the first time I started with her, there was like, we were in the back corner, and she's just like, there's a lady that usually comes in and she likes that spot, so you guys might want to move. And we're just like, oh, okay. We just moved up like 1 or 2 spots, but it's okay, whatever. It's just like, but yeah.
See, those are the things where I'm like, you catch me on the wrong day, I might be a bitch about it. But I know that obviously people are creatures of habit and like their habit.
Yeah.
But in the wrong fucking day, but bitch, I'm paying for this class too.
I'm here early.
Okay? And I'm a new member. She should want me to come back.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just if I'm having a bad day, but it totally makes sense.
Yeah.
And I would like if I was like committed member for my instructor to give a shit about
where you
preserving my spot, or
you
know, and knowing I'm coming, like I might be running late, but I'm on my way.
Yeah, because she will. Because like anytime I miss a class, like when we went to the graduation for Amari, and she's just like, "You're in trouble because you weren't here on Thursday." I'm just like, "I have a really good reason. I had a family event. My cousin was graduating." She goes, "Oh, so I won't torture you today." I'm like, "Thank you very much for the pass. Thank you very much. I enjoy it." But yeah, on Thursday she was
walk out on your ass.
No, she's super sweet. But so on Thursday she was like,
you need somebody to push you.
Yeah, she definitely pushed me on Thursday, and she had like really good music on Thursday. So I was just like, okay, because Thursday is more of a cardio class, and Tuesdays is more for like a Pilates class. They're both hard, but on Thursdays when it comes to the cardio and getting my heart rate up and keeping it like steady, because she'll have us like ramp it up and then we'll come back down, ramp it up, come back down. So it's pretty intense, but she had really great music, so I was able to kind of keep up during the class. So I enjoyed that. And then what did I do? I also did on Friday. Netflix has a new movie called Under Paris. It's like a shark movie.
Oh, I saw that. It was like #2 on Netflix. Was it good?
Yeah. So somebody was saying, "Oh my god, this is like the best shark movie since Jaws."
Okay, I need to watch it.
And I was just like, I wouldn't say as good as Jaws, but it's
okay. But which one do you think is better, Jaws or Deep Blue Sea? Because I think Deep Blue Sea is like the best shark movie ever.
Yeah, I love
Deep Blue Sea is good when Sam Jackson gets swallowed up.
Yes.
Spoiler for anyone who hasn't seen Deep Blue Sea.
Sorry.
I mean, that movie's super old. So.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, then
like maybe you don't like shark movies.
Yeah.
So I really do love. So I would say that Deep Blue Sea is better than this movie. I would say it's like in the middle. I would say like in the middle between Jaws and The Meg. This is like in the middle.
Okay.
It's like the Meg.
I haven't seen Jaws in
Jaws is amazing.
I honestly can't tell you the plots of Jaws anymore. I don't know them.
Yeah, so I would say
it's been that long. It's been that long.
Okay, so Under Paris is like if Jaws and the Meg had a baby. So it's not completely.
And then the Meg I've not seen.
I haven't seen the Meg, but I know what it is.
Yeah, so it's like it's one of those things where it's not plausible because are
any of those shark movies plausible?
I'd say Jaws is very plausible because it's based on true events. They use that as inspiration.
What? It's true events?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was some shark attacks.
So sure.
Yeah, no, it was based on some shark attacks that happened off in New York and in the same area where they filmed. Yeah, they have beaches in New York, some Cape Town off of coast of New York, and yeah, they based it off of that. And
viewers, go and fact check her.
You can if you want to. Google it real quick
Jillian
if you want
would
to.
Be fact checking.
Yeah,
she'd be like, that don't sound right. That don't sound right.
Go ahead. You can fact check me. So where the Meg is like completely, it's just out of people's imagination as far as how the Meg came to be or where it was and how it got released or whatever. So the movie Under Paris is kind of like, is it real? Because you're talking about saltwater sharks in a freshwater environment.
Oh, so then
so they kind of have some science fiction kind of meld in to kind of justify how this could be possible. So it wasn't awful, but it wasn't like great.
It was okay. So just FYI, so Jaws was inspired by true events, I guess. So Jaws is a fictional work inspired by real events, including 1916 Jersey Shore shark attacks and the story of Frank Mudis, a shark fisherman from Montauk, New York. The novel by Peter Blanchie or something, published in 1974, and the movie directed by Steven Spielberg followed different storylines, but both involve a fictional town called being stalked by a shark.
Okay.
So I guess they're like, it's basically but it's probably like
loosely
hey,
inspired.
There were some shark attacks. Let's make a movie off a shark attack.
Well,
Pretty
they
much.
say that Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time, they say that's based on a true story. It is in fact not.
True events.
True events. They basing it off of Ed Gein, who would wear body parts like skin.
Okay, right, but
there was no Texas Chainsaw. There was no chainsaw.
There was no Texas Chainsaw
Massacre.
like person.
No, Leatherface isn't real. They just made that up. But they
got inspiration from a real killer.
Ed Gein, yeah. But they say that it was a true story, but it's not.
I heard of Ed Gein.
Ed Gein,
he's a serial killer.
Yeah, he would wear people's skin and stuff, which the Leatherface does. But that's the only similarity. There's no chainsaw. There's no, no massacre. I mean, there was a massacre, but it wasn't.
So crazy with the movies that are inspired by true stories because it's always like, how much of this is inspired?
Yeah.
Inspired
was related. Just take
especially
with a grain of salt.
Murder ones.
Yeah.
Like, because it makes you go and be like, because they want to make the story interesting for TV, but it makes you so much like, oh my God, did that happen? Did that happen? Did that happen? And then I go down a rabbit hole of, did this happen?
Yeah.
So I watched that on Friday, and then Saturday I went with my friend and I went and saw Bad Boys.
What friend?
My friend.
Oh, okay.
We went and saw.
She was supposed to go with me, but I didn't want to go, so I was the first one invited.
So we went Saturday. So we went and saw Bad Boys. I think it's called Ride or Die, or
I've not seen any of them.
Like no Bad Boys?
No Bad Boys for me.
Michael, I am officially snatching your movie connoisseur title.
But Jillian, the ones that you bring up that he's not watched are like B-list movies. C-list.
C-list.
Yeah. They're not like... Have you watched Oppenheimer, Jillian?
No, I have not.
Okay. Like, these are like movies like that. Like, Michael goes and watches the ones that are like critically acclaimed. Like... Film festival. We watched the bullshit ones, honey.
And look, I watched some of those too. I saw The Shallows.
I love the bull ones. Bullshit
did y'all
ones.
see The Shallows?
Shallows was horrible.
That was fun. That was fun.
That was trash.
I liked it.
I was so upset. I was like, fuck this movie.
What other shark movies? The one
The Shallows.
The Shallows, and then there's one where they're stuck in the cage 47 meters down.
Oh yeah, 47 meters
and
down.
then
that's the one that was really, really disappointing. 47 meters down.
So you're not thinking The Shallows?
I think I can't.
Shallows with Blake Lively. She's stuck on a rock.
I can't remember exactly how, but she gets. Does she get off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then that was a disappointment. I was disappointed in 47 meters down because there's a twist, and I was like, I hate that twist.
Yeah.
Fuck y'all.
I think what was the other one that I really liked? Open Water.
Open Water was great.
That was a
even
good one.
though I do believe that first couple scenes when they're like at the hotel, I was like, oh, that's unnecessary.
I don't even remember that.
It's like the whole sex scene. I was like, oh, it's too much.
Yeah.
It was like for no reason.
Yeah.
Like literally just threw it in there just to get an R rating. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. But you've seen me
because I was like, for what?
I remember
Open Water 2 was amazing though. Amazing.
I haven't seen that one. I've only seen the original.
Open Water 2 is way better than Open Water.
Yeah. Because the first one I watched towards the end when it's nighttime and they're in the water, I was watching it at nighttime. So anyone who's ever seen that movie, you have a heart. You literally can only see them every once in a while when there's like a lightning strike, and you can see it kind of lights things up. You can kind of see what they're doing, but for the most part, it's every couple seconds that happens. And so like I'm at home in pitch black and watching the TV.
Did we watch that together?
I don't remember.
I think so.
And I'm just like, oh my God, I would shit my pants. I was just like, if I was in open water,
I would drop
pitch
myself
black,
hours before that. Hours. To be fair, like if I ever fell in open bodied of water in the ocean
at
with
night,
no
I
hope of rescue,
swallow as much water as I could have. Just
call it a day.
Just call it a day.
Okay.
Just die. Like I don't even know how that would work because they say like self-preservation will kick in, but I'm like self-preservation is I don't want to torture myself for hours thinking I'm gonna get rescued.
Yeah,
right.
I don't even want to remember this even if I live.
Do you remember that woman who watched her daughter get ravaged by 3 sharks that circled her? This was like 8 years ago.
Real life?
Real life, yeah.
Oh my God.
She watched it because she couldn't get to her daughter?
She couldn't save her. They were circling her. There were 3 of them. They were separated. Like, one of them was swimming in one area and the other one was swimming in another. And she was screaming for her daughter to get swim away. But the sharks, they tore her limb from limb.
Oh my God. No, I did not hear that.
Yeah, sorry to tell you.
What do you even do? Yeah, there's not much you can do. Y'all would have just both died.
It's kind of a downer, isn't it?
Yeah.
That went womp, womp, womp. True.
Anyway.
Fake story to real story. Thanks, Michael.
I'm always here to keep it real.
But anyone,
Oppenheimer.
if whoever's listening, go watch Bad Boys Ride or Die. It was really good.
I want to go watch, was it Paris?
Under Paris?
Yeah, I'm going to go watch Under Paris, honey. That's what I'm about to go watch.
Yeah.
I love a good shark movie. Did you see Shark Night? It's the last one I'll ask about, and I promise I'll stop.
No, I have not seen Shark Night.
Where's that one
good.
on?
That one's on Netflix. It's good. It's stupid. Like, it's silly.
Oh, I saw that one that you talked about the killer pool.
Oh, night
swim or something. Like, I saw it on Peacock, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, I saw that in theaters.
Even the commercial, I was like, I don't even know why you thought that was going to be a good movie.
I was hoping, because I love horror, so I was hoping. But I saw it, and I was like...
You actually went to the movie theaters and watched that?
Uh-huh.
That was a straight to Netflix kind of
but
movie.
that's why I'm saying Michael watches those critically acclaimed,
but I also watched...
talked about, indie festival type shit.
Uh-huh, and then I also watched The Garbage. I like both.
Okay, so because you used to go to Angelica a lot, huh?
Yeah.
Because Angelica used to do a lot of...
I know.
They did, but they used to play a lot of indie films.
They play indie films and foreign films.
The only movie I've ever seen at Angelica was Precious, because that's the only place they played it. And I was just like...
Me and Mom went and saw Jane Eyre there.
Oh, that's a good movie. Yeah.
I love the Jane Eyre story. So
I wonder what they're going to put in over there.
I don't know. They've been like...
I hope they put another movie theater over there.
I don't think they will.
Probably not.
Because do you remember Landmark Theater?
I don't think it was bringing in enough.
It wasn't bringing in enough. They've been struggling for about 15 years.
As far as the Angelica...
part of it.
Yeah.
I think because the Angelica didn't play mainstream movies, they played a lot of
They should have went downtown.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where the city life is, where people are more artsy, especially the art, the
Deep
the
Ellum.
Art Deco area and stuff.
It would have done well over there.
Yeah. Those are...
Well,
that's their audience.
Maybe they'll change their mind and revamp, because the Alamo Draft House is also closed down too.
Yeah, I saw that.
Where's Alamo Draft House?
Richardson.
Downtown, yeah. I have another one.
They have a couple properties.
No.
So yeah, that's what
Alicia.
that's what I did this week. So it was just my 2 good movies.
Oh, well, mine is pretty similar in the sense that I did go to a comedy show on Thursday. It was Gay Pride.
Oh, cool.
So I went to they had Thursday night. Like they do it every first Thursday of the month, and it's at Dallas Comedy Club.
Oh, I've been there.
Okay, yeah, Dallas Comedy Club, and they do the first Thursday of the month is like Gay Pride. But this was Pride Month, so it's like a really good show. I mean, it's just fun. Like, I enjoy it. I go with my friend. It's pretty cute.
Do we know the name of the comedians? Or just like
they're different every time. And then I think my favorite part about the show that they do is their improv. It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's so funny, the improv people. I'm like, you guys are so good. And so this is my second one that I went to. So I went to that on Thursday. And then what else did I do? Some cleaning. Cleaned up my house a bit.
Sure did.
Yeah, it's looking nice and clean, isn't it?
Is.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no. Other than that, I think that was pretty much it. I'll have probably more news coming up soon, but for right now, yeah, that's pretty much how my week went. And no good. I watched the show with My Life with the Walter Boys. It's okay.
I heard of it.
I feel like I just need to finish it.
Out of 10, how would you rank that show?
Like a 6.
Okay.
Like a 6. Like, honestly, like I probably wouldn't finish it if I didn't feel like I invested already so much time. Because like 10 episodes, I'm on like episode 6, and I'm like, I could stop here.
Yeah.
Like I'm not sure I care about how this ends, but I'm gonna go ahead and see how it ends, type thing. You know.
I know what you mean.
So I'm gonna do that. But yeah, other than that, that was pretty much my week. You know, this was like the highlight of it. So
there you go.
And then next week's Bridgerton. So I'm just been
Counting down.
just counting down, honey.
I am too.
Literally just counting down.
Yeah, 7 days till House of Dragon.
Yeah, no, 4 days until 4 days until Bridgerton.
I mean, I'm counting down to Bridgerton too. I'm like, but as soon
House of
as
Dragons, they can kick
so
rocks.
I'll binge Bridgerton on Friday, and then Sunday I can just
Honestly, that's what I'm saying. Like next weekend, no plans.
Just TV.
Just Bridgerton. Not even TV. Just Bridgerton.
over and over again.
I'm going to start it on Thursday, and I'm going to start from episode 1, and I'm going to go right into the other ones. The plan.
Sounds like a perfect weekend.
Perfect weekend. Can't wait.
Yeah.
She can dissect every scene.
Every little scene, every little thing has been dissected, read about, analyzed, scrutinized. But anyways, guys, that was our weeks pretty much, but we're gonna take a quick break and dive into our next topic. Okay, we are back. And so this week we actually wanted to kind of dive into a topic we've actually had separate sidebar conversations about. And I think there was something that happened that just triggered it. And we were like, let's just talk about it. Let's bring up this situation that happened. And let's also talk about like the implications of it. So it's nepotism. Nepo baby is the term. And I think for sure in Hollywood, but it's really everywhere, right? But in Hollywood, it's big. It's a big topic. And nepotism, if anybody doesn't know, is like basically having like a foot in the door. A parent or a grandparent or somebody that's in that industry, in that position of power that can allow you other opportunities or opportunities that might not even be warranted for you or earned, but you get them because of your relation or because of your connection to somebody. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much what it is. And the event that happened was good old Northwest. Kim Kardashian and Kanye West's daughter, and she did The Lion King. It was what kind of production was it?
So it was at the Hollywood Bowl. They were doing a 30th anniversary celebration where they were doing performances for many of the popular songs in the movie, and also they're I think celebrating also the Broadway production of the Lion King as well. So a lot of the costumes from the Broadway production was brought in, and she performed as young Simba, where they performed, well, I can't remember.
Which is a big deal. I think a lot of child actresses went out for that role.
Yeah.
Of Simba. I mean, that's a big role. I mean, Simba, obviously it's a big deal. It's a big production. So in the event, and needless to say, Northwest was granted the role. Mm-hmm. And her performance was one of a child who clearly does not want to be there.
Yeah.
She was out of her depth.
Put in as little as possible. It wasn't something she took seriously.
Yeah.
She very much treated it like a child, which, don't get me wrong, she is a child.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, if she wasn't prepared to be in that role, you guys put her out there to do it. Because you guys should have known how she was going to perform it. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. But as much as we say that it was a horrible performance, both of her parents are singing her praises. They just think she's
course.
great. And it was an awful performance. And Michael, I'm going to let you speak about the performance and what you saw. Because Michael is an actor.
Well, here's the thing. There are some actors that are child actors that are so natural. They, Haley Joel Osment is one of them. Thora Birch, we were just talking about her. A lot of them are natural.
Mm-hmm. Elijah Wood.
Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with, I don't have anything against this child. She's a child. I'm sure she's lovely. I have nothing against her. What my only issue, maybe I should have.
She has a lot of attitude, but whatever.
The only issue I have with this is that I just think about all those talented young people that missed out because their name is not Northwest. And
because their last name is not West.
Right.
Yeah.
So they missed out because they're not famous. Mm-hmm. And this
Because
girl,
did you even really think they even gave a fair shake to any other person when
I
saying
don't
they
think
could get
so.
Northwest?
Right. I think they knew all along that they just probably did it as a formality. And quite frankly, she acted like she was performing in her living room for her auntie. And her, and her auntie was like, "Good job, North."
Yeah. And some people whose kids actually auditioned for that role, one particular mom, she said like she was there when she actually came in as a last minute audition because they had been doing several weeks of auditions for a bunch of kids, and a bunch of kids did get called back. She was a last minute audition.
Wow.
And she got the audition and was announced as the person who won the role. It was a last minute thing. So I think Kanye and Kim definitely threw some money at it.
Oh, of course, yeah.
To be able to get her that role, which I don't blame North. I honestly, at this point, I don't even blame Kim or Kanye. I blame who was at casting. How hard is to say, hey, this isn't, you're good, you're okay, but this isn't this is not your opportunity to shine. Well,
you're not ready for this opportunity. First of all, they wouldn't have told her any of that. They would have let her audition, and they would have had to tell her parents or her management team.
Right.
And they would have to relay why she didn't get the part. But she probably feels very entitled to get... I mean, to be fair, I don't know Northwest, obviously. She's a child. But the things I have seen about her, I'm like, okay, this is clearly a teen, a preteen that's very much in her rebellious stage. Why are you guys still emphasizing and putting the camera in her face? She has a lot of attitude. She looks annoyed 90% of the time. And I'm just like, and it didn't even seem like her cup of tea to even want to do this play. Yeah. And so I'm just like,
it's honestly,
why are y'all pushing this little girl?
You know what it is? They're doing this to create tension drama for their show. I really do think that's at the end of the day, it's to create
selling out your
somebody.
Family.
To be fair, the whole family is a sales model.
Yeah.
To be fair, the entire family. You know?
Because people were upset also because with Kim, so Variety has this thing called Actor on Actor.
Yeah, Chloe Sevigny.
Yeah, her. Why are you teaming her up with Chloe Sevigny and Kim Kardashian is not an actress.
No.
So
Chloe Sevigny, who is that?
She's in a lot of movies. She was in Big Boys Don't Cry.
Big Love.
She was the
second wife. Yeah.
The blonde one. Okay, I know her.
Yeah.
So
she's a great actor.
It was just like
she is.
Her and Kim's like,
I'm just like,
they're pairing her up for what? With Kim.
Variety does this thing where they pair actors with other actors and they interview each other.
So
Kim Kardashian
was interviewing was with Khloe Kardashian.
That's what everyone's
for Chloe, it's like almost like a slap in the face.
It is
like,
a slap in the face.
Pair her up with somebody who hasn't dedicated their entire life to acting.
Right.
Yeah.
Because she has been acting since she was little.
Yeah. So the first two interviews that I've seen has been Quinta Brunson and Jennifer Aniston, both of them doing sitcoms. They interviewed each other. Then I believe the other actor from Abbott Elementary, the guy from Everybody Hates Chris.
Oh yeah, I know him.
Tyler James something. I'm sorry, I can't remember Williams or
I don't know his name.
Yeah, just Google his name real quick. With the guy who plays in the Marvel movies. What's his name? Oh my gosh.
What?
That's gonna bother me. Hold on.
Okay, so I'm looking up Everybody Loves
He plays
Chris.
Sam Wilson on the Avengers.
Oh, Sam. I know who you're talking about. I don't know his real name.
His real name is
Sebastian Stan.
no, the other
Girl.
actor.
I would have remembered him. Oh, that's my man. I have always loved Sebastian.
Stan.
Like, I've always loved him.
He's very.
Since Gossip Girl, and I didn't even watch Gossip Girl.
He was
I was like,
very
who
handsome.
is that?
He's a handsome guy.
He's so handsome.
Yeah.
Captain. Let me pull up
What else?
Captain America.
Everybody hates Chris. I just wanted to see who the actor is, and Everybody Hates Chris. You never watch Everybody Hates Chris, Michael?
No,
No.
never seen
But
it.
you said are you a sitcom person?
I love sitcoms. Jillian
Okay.
is not a sitcom person, but I love.
Oh,
sitcom.
gotcha.
Anthony
Tyler
Mackie.
James Williams.
I was gonna say Anthony Mackie.
Anthony
I was-
Mackie
Yeah,
and
that's the
Tyler
thing.
James Williams. They interviewed each other, and both have done movies and have done television. So they're interviewing each other. I don't know the other actors that will be interviewing. And I was just like, wow, if all people, why Kim? Mm-hmm. And I was just like, and not saying that Kim hasn't acted before. It's just not on par with who her counterpart is on the
insulting.
internet. And it's just like, at the end of the day, when it comes to Kim, you all know I don't like her. I don't like her. The whole Kardashian
Hey, look
model
now.
is
Is
just
not saying that I want to defend Kim in this moment, because I really don't, because of the whole Northwest thing. But I usually do defend her. But I did hear her in the American Horror Story Delicate. The couple scenes I did see, I was like, okay.
oh, so that's probably why she that she got the interview.
That's why. That's why.
I was actually like, she's not bad. She's not awful. Have you seen it, Michael?
I've seen clips. I've seen that clips that were the clip where the guy was like, "I love you," and she's like, "Ugh." After she had sex
so I
with
didn't
him.
see that one. I saw the one where it's like, I don't know what was going on, but they were in an auditorium. The person that was about to, like, she's trying to win an award, and it seemed like she was like, it seems like Kim Kardashian's like some type of demonic character. Like, she's like almost like a demonic like spirit. Like,
Was typecasting.
yeah. Damn. I wouldn't say that. But it was like basically like she was offering this woman to like give up she was pregnant at the time, her baby, to win this award, and the woman did.
Wow.
And she like did something over her stomach, and then as soon as she was done, she's like, "Oh, the award goes to," and it was her. I was like, "Damn, did she just give him her baby?" But that's not said. I don't know. I just thought she did a good job of being very sinister but like not like convincing. But obviously, you're like, I think I know what you're doing. You're
Yeah.
going to take this woman's baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, I just said like I was more. I didn't think she had such a big role in it, and I was like, okay, this acting is not horrible. Not
I mean,
horrible.
when it
Not
com-
Northwest, I guess.
When it comes to Nepo Babies, I'm not saying that some are not not deserving
the
of
Kardashians Nepo babies.
Yeah, I mean, the
Not
only reason
really, because
we
they weren't in
know
Hollywood.
when it comes to the Kardashians, the only reason you know them is due to the OJ trial. And the fact that, and the sex tape with Ray J.
No, because
that's the only reason why you know them.
OJ's trial happened years and years and years after. It was a sex tape. It was the sex tape with Ray J. That is what made them famous. Period. Point blank.
Yeah, and they skated off of Ray J's celebrity and the fact that he was Brandy's brother. That's what
I think it came
catapulted
from Paris's fame. And they were like, who is this girl with Paris all the time? Mm-hmm. And then it came to, she dates Ray J. Because it was like a lot of talk about her when she was friends with Paris and just friends with Paris. Mm-hmm. And I really do think it was just like she just right time. It was a time.
She just needed the right people.
She
That
needed
was
the right
when she-
people, and she leveraged the sex tape.
That's when she looked like Jafar.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. She did. She had a lot of hair. She had a lot of hair. You know, she had like her
Nose job.
widow's peak surgically removed.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't keep in
Because she had a widow. Because I guess most Armenians apparently have widow's peaks, which is another reason why they said that Chloe is not Armenian. It's not the baby. She's not a
She don't
child
want
of Robert's. Because Courtney has the widow's peak. Robert has the widow's peak. Kim had the widow's peak.
But
And then
is Chris Armenian?
No,
Okay,
she's
there you
not.
go. That's how genetics work.
Oh,
Well, no, I know, but I'm just saying it was just another little notch in the belt of why she's supposedly not Robert's daughter.
why does Kylie look Armenian or like vaguely ethnic? Vaguely.
Because she makes herself look that way.
Yeah, surgery.
Damn.
I wouldn't say it's a tanning.
Tanning. She looks
the
ethnic. She looks like an ethnic girl.
It's the limp plumper.
Yeah. The booty.
I mean, the body. I mean, I wouldn't even say it's the body anymore because I mean, most women at this point do the BBLs and get the body done, and I think what makes her look Armenian is the dark hair, the dark makeup, the overfilled lips.
Yeah.
I think it's just the tan. I think she wants to look as close to her sisters as possible.
Yeah.
And I think
Mission
she
accomplished.
did a good job of doing that. And I think Chloe was working on looking like her sisters too. Because
Yeah.
I think Chloe just happened to come out like the wider side of her family.
She
gene
did,
pool.
yeah.
I think she really just did.
Yeah.
And I agree with Jillian that that's how genetics work.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I understand that all three of these kids might look some, and then she's just the odd man out. Have we not seen other cases of that?
Of
Yeah.
course.
You've seen cases of twins where one's white and one's black. So
Yeah.
we also know that genes do weird things. So I'm like,
Yeah.
for people, I think it's such a stretch to say that she's OJ's child.
Yeah.
Like even if you think she's mixed somehow or not Robert's daughter, OJ,
Yeah.
No, she doesn't look anything like OJ.
like,
No,
come on.
No.
no, I don't think so.
Have you seen the daughter?
I've seen pictures, but
Lately?
it's been years.
Lately?
It's been
Last
over a decade.
picture I saw was like, oh, well. But I also still think it's a stretch. But do I think they look similar? Yes. But I think it's a stretch. Like, I think it's just one of those things. People
Honestly,
hold on
they've
to.
had so much surgery and modifications. I don't even know what they really look like anymore. I can't even remember. I honestly don't.
I just thought that Kim at some point looked like she should be having that staff that Jafar had. She looked
She had like
Jafar.
that at the time. She had a bigger nose. She had a widow's peak. Her eyebrows were closer together.
Yeah.
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 She had a very tan skin.
Yeah.
She had very tan skin at the time. I don't know what she's done to
I
make
think
herself
it
look
was-
a little lighter, but
I think it's just bad self-tanning also. 'Cause
Yeah.
self-tanning was really popular. Plus, makeup techniques were different back then. So I think that's a part of it too. But
I think she just because if you actually look at Courtney, she still has that color.
Yeah.
who knows? You just never know with the Kardashians.
Well, to be fair, you don't know with Hollywood, not
True.
just them.
That's true.
True.
You don't know what Hollywood like, what people actually look like. But
That's true.
Yeah.
It's very true.
I have always been a fan of Kylie's. Whatever she did, to me, she looks good.
Okay,
So.
if you say so.
Yeah, I do. I actually think she looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I think she's pretty.
Yeah. No, okay, so we were talking, let's just go back to the subject as far
Nepotism?
as Nepo babies. I'm not saying that there's plenty of Nepo babies that, I'm not saying they're not talented. I just feel like they haven't had to have worked as hard as other people. When you have that foot in the door, not saying that you can't leverage that foot in the door, you're able to, especially if you come from a lot of wealth. When imagine being an actor and you don't have to worry about paying your bills.
Exactly.
You can just literally just go on auditions
Yeah.
and grind at that
And that's it.
skill.
I think it's just
and then you don't have to worry
circumstances.
about anything else.
Yeah.
And I think that's
It's just circumstances, but everybody has different circumstances. How do you change that?
I'm not saying they should feel guilty or bad about it, but that needs to be a lot of times like somebody was pointing out that the difference between, because I know Eminem and Kid Rock kind of came into popularity at the same time in the early 2000s. And I did not know this. I really thought that Eminem did grow up on the wrong side of the tracks, had like a really rough upbringing. But I did not know that Kid Rock actually did not grow up in the trailer park, and actually his family is incredibly wealthy.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. So
you also know what's gonna-
So Kid Rock, when his persona that he put on, it wasn't really...
fake.
It was fake.
So it almost makes you go like you're damned if you do, damned if you are, damned if you're not. Like,
Yeah.
because we want to commend him for this image like that he portrayed, even though it's untrue.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, would he have had the same fame if he didn't go with that angle because of the way he looked and acted?
He didn't. And he changed it because his initial entry into the music industry, that was not his quote unquote persona that he presented, and it didn't work, and he failed at that point when he switched up.
I didn't even know of him or
I didn't
see
either.
any other pictures of him other than looking like that.
When he switched up and kind of leaned into the trailer park trash essence and kind of melded hip hop and rock, that's when he found incredible success. And so I feel like where Eminem, I feel like there's a reason why Eminem, his music has kind of, you still like, okay, Eminem. And then Kid Rock, you're kind of like, who? What?
Yeah.
He's not
relevant.
You know, you seen Eminem introduced into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, where Kid Rock, he is.
So what do you think that means when he's the one that had the money?
I think it doesn't matter. Where with Eminem, I think.
So it doesn't matter. So really, nepotism doesn't matter.
I think
it does. It does.
It does matter as far as I don't think he would have had the fame that he had or the success he had if he had not had the family money
have the
to fall back. Because I feel like with Eminem, he's like had this daughter. He's like, this has to work for me to be able to provide a life for my child. Where
I
with
think
him,
Eminem
it was
is
just
inevitable. He's just so talented.
Very talented.
Just so talented.
And it's one of those things where he had to like
really
so grind it.
People.
There's a lot of talented people who don't make it. And it's one of those things, it was just pure dumb luck that he got his demo tape in front of Dr. Dre. And whenever he had the opportunity, he capitalized on that opportunity.
So I'm going to say, I think that with nepotism, especially in Hollywood and fame-based like nepotism, I don't fault it. Because isn't our whole entire like basis, like one of the terms, it's not about what you know, it's who you know.
Yes.
That's everybody, whether you're rich or not. Like even at jobs where there's no nepotism going on, but you know the manager, the director, and you're that. It's just like, so I'm like, I feel like it's a natural progression in life as far as like it's because that is life. It's not about what you know, it's who you know, and how you can leverage different aspects of your life that get you where you want to go. So and then I think with Hollywood, I can't even name anybody I think that this literally has no talent that has had all this fame that literally wasn't talented anyways.
I can't think of anybody at the top of my head, but you're right.
I think they do get the leg into Hollywood, which I think you like. I don't know, and deferring to you, Michael. Like I don't, because obviously I know you're a talented actor. You know what I mean? And had you had that leg in the door, you probably would have gone a lot further. You know what I mean? And it's just one of those things where it's like sometimes it's like it's just unfortunate, but like what do you do except for just keep trying on your own? And if you have a famous father or whatever, of course you're going to talk about that. I would.
Well, and like Jillian said,
but that's Hollywood and fame based.
Right.
I think when it comes to the corporate world and political world and things like that, that's different because now you're putting things on people's plate that if they're not qualified to handle those responsibilities,
there'll be repercussions.
It's repercussions for other people,
right?
Like a company, a stock, a country. Like these are bigger consequences than you getting a movie role that you shouldn't have gotten.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I think for me, it's like nepotism in Hollywood, have at it.
Yeah.
Nepotism in real world, problem for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right, because it doesn't
matter.
At the end of the day, it's just a show or a movie or whatever.
It's a movie, and like I hate that you didn't get the fame you wanted or the life you wanted, and I know you're talented. But unfortunately, when it comes to Hollywood, it is a very much a luck thing.
Yeah.
Period. Like, I even think, like, there's so many talented people, like, including Michael, because I have seen his plays. I've seen him act. I know how talented he is. And it's a luck thing. And I think, and still to this day, I think at any moment, you could just have your break.
Yeah.
You never know.
And there's plenty of actors who don't get their break until much later in life.
Yeah.
What was it, Viola Davis?
Yeah.
Did not get a break until she was in her late 40s.
Yeah, I know.
And she's very talented.
Very
she went to
talented.
Juilliard.
She's
Oscar, Emmy winning actress.
And it was like, it's undeniable now, right?
I think she is.
It's undeniable now.
Yeah.
But then...
working towards,
how long did it take her?
Exactly.
But yeah, I think just kind of going into our final thoughts about it, because I think we've all kind of said what we feel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Pretty much. But just final thoughts for me. Again, I think it's just, for me, it's more of a, nepotism is a problem to me when it comes to like the corporate world, the business world,
Politics,
things that are going to like affect people around you. You know what I mean?
Government.
Even just corporate jobs that you have, and people that are in certain roles that just do not belong in those roles and fuck shit up every other day, and then you're expecting other people to fix it, but you still want to pay those people the salaries that they don't deserve, they haven't earned, they really have no business even in the role because they don't understand the concept of what they're doing. I think that's totally different. Looking at politics, like Bush, not Bush, sorry, well, kind of,
Yes.
because he really wasn't qualified to be president. He didn't have the intelligence level, if you really ask me. Did I think he had the charismatic level? Yeah. Donald Trump, his kids, like half of his kids was in his campaign, and were in his office when he became president. Were they qualified, or is it because they're your children? And because they're your children, they're going to go with whatever you say, and that affects the whole entire country. It's not just affecting, casting,
a household,
a casting call. It's affecting other people. It's affecting people who have no ties to you. And like, that's unfair.
It is unfair
to me. That's the part that I find unfair, the nepotism in corporate life and business relationships. Not so much you got to roll. Yeah, because it doesn't matter. And as much as like I get it, like I still think the role should go to the person that is more talented. It's not the same effect.
It is what it is.
It is what it is, because it's an opinion at that point. It's not. What are we really talking about? Like, they can cast whoever they want because they have the they got the money to do the budget or whatever. You know what I mean? It's not going to affect a wide range of people except for the people that are like, I know I'm better than them. And that's ultimately, that's just how it is. Not a country. Yeah. Like with your decisions, or, a corporation with 200 plus employees. Yeah. So. No, you're right. I totally agree. Yeah, but that's my final thoughts on it. Jillian, do you agree?
So I totally agree with Janice. And when it comes to nepotism,
oh my God, guys!
Mark this day on the calendar.
Yay! Jillian agrees with me.
Took 3 seasons. Yeah, 3 seasons. 3 seasons.
This is the third. Yeah. Now we've agreed with some stuff.
Nonsense.
Not. Yeah, that's a pretty strong agreement. Like usually, it's like, well,
yeah. So when it comes to Nepo babies, I don't have a problem. Like I said, if you're super talented and you have that, like Janice said, it's not what you know, it's who you know. You can leverage those social connections to be able to give you a leg up. I have no problem with that, because there's a lot of really talented actor and actresses
that just happen,
that have, when you have the opportunity to look at like Jamie Lee Curtis or Dakota Johnson,
David Washington.
Yes. So when you get the opportunity to learn from your parents who are at the top of their game when it comes to whatever profession that they're in, if you're able to learn from them directly, have them as mentors, I think that's amazing. And you can take that to be able to progress your own talent and be able to get opportunities. I have no problem with that. What I have a problem with is when you are elevated to a level that is beyond your depth. And I think a lot of, whether it's in the corporate world, whether it's in government, whether it's in Hollywood, journalism, there's a lot of people who are elevated beyond their depth, where they're in positions where they're not able to rise to the occasion.
And it's not because people are overlooking it or not. You're like, oh, well, I made that decision. Because it's like you put people in positions where they're outside their depth, and you realize quickly, like, oh, they need training. We made a quick little rash decision with this one. Right. It's not simply because, hey, this is my daughter, or hey, this is my son. Yeah, they're gonna be in this role, and I'm gonna put people in place around them
based off of
to do the job. I already know they cannot do. They know they can't do it.
Yeah,
and which is why they surround those people with talent.
Yeah. And I have a problem with that, because it's like, why not put the people with the talent, and that may not be your child, in those positions, and maybe start at a lower level and maybe learn, and maybe they do be able to eventually get to that level. Some people is just, there's a limit to your own ability, and I think we need to recognize, even if it's your own child, hey, there is a limit. Or when it comes to
because I can understand them wanting to put their kid or somebody they're related to in like a good position. I get that.
Yeah,
but it's like I
At what
still
cost?
would never. I talk about all the time, like even certain positions like I've had, or I will have, and things like I would never allow like my best friend, my cousin, or anything to be in a role, even if a company I owned,
Right.
and fuck up,
Just the opposite
and not
of it.
be like, what the fuck?
Yeah. You're still going to hold them responsible for the results. Yeah.
Like, it's my best friend, and she'd be the number one person I would want to work for me if I opened my own company. But I would still hold her accountable, and I know for a fact, based off of our relationship, she would
do the
never
same.
slack.
Oh.
Based off of the fact that she's like, no, Janice won't be cool with that. I gotta make sure this is great.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So your expectations of you, even if I put my best friend, my expectations are the same.
Yeah.
That's refreshing to hear.
But yeah, you also see that, unfortunately, I see this a lot when I see kids when it comes to sports, where parents want to think, oh, they're going to be the next great Tom Brady or Michael Jordan. I was just like, they're in
Especially the sports, girl.
They're in little league. They're in these like rec leagues. I was just like, and they put so much pressure on these kids. I know you want the best from your kids, but sometimes can you just let kids be kids
And have fun.
and have fun?
They
And I
want to
think-
reap the benefits of them going pro too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think also that's what's going on with Northwest. They're wanting to push her so that
The next
it's
generation of cash.
Exactly. I think that's what it is. It's just they want to be able, and with all the kids that they've had, they want them to kind of take what they've done and take it to another level.
Okay, because I will say, because I do like the Kardashians, and I do think they have a great family dynamic. I do think they love each other as a family. I do, truly.
I don't doubt that.
So, but I do know, and I do think that yes, at the middle center of it all, they love each other, but they're like, how do we keep this thing going?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's their main concern.
Yes. I think sometimes with...
And that includes making sure the children do what they need to do to keep it going. Yeah.
I think with Kim and Kendall, sometimes I feel like they use their kids as a...
Not Kendall. She don't have no kids.
Okay, I'm getting them confused. There's a lot of K's. Sorry. Kylie, I think their kids are used even...
Well, no, because Stormy and I don't even know what that Air one is about. I've never seen him.
I think they use that as a means to...
To be fair, I honestly only think it's Kim that does it.
Kim, I think she does it the worst.
I don't see any of the other kids on stuff.
I feel like they use motherhood as a means to advance their brand.
That is their brand now. They're mothers.
Exactly.
But yeah, as far as the kids being in the spotlight, name other kids that are in the spotlight besides Kim's kids. None of them are.
You're correct. But I think
because Courtney definitely doesn't want her kids in the spotlight. Rob definitely doesn't want his kids in the spotlight. Chloe, no. I mean, just between, really, she's trying to protect them from the whole entire thing. Like, she's trying to like be like, she doesn't want her kids involved in it at all.
Yeah, I feel for sure, Kim. I feel like motherhood is just a means to yeah. I think Kim is definitely. I see Kim wanting to be
her mother.
Absolutely. It's a means to advance the brand.
A momager.
Yeah, yes. She definitely wants that. Mm-hmm. I can see that for sure. I just think that's Kim's personality. She's always been the one that's the business-driven one. Even when they were talking about as they were kids, and she would go work for her dad at the law office and like go and she started doing that closet organization thing. Like that's how she got famous. Like she just wanted to be famous. Period. She wanted nothing else. Like I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I want to be famous, and that's the basis of who she is in Hollywood.
I think, and that's why she got in the fight with Courtney. Because you're like, you're not working as hard. What? Girl's like, I'm not even interested in
I would say, girl, but that was some good TV, honey.
Exactly.
I watched that so many times.
Even I watched that, and I don't watch
when the makeup transported to that white wall, I said, oh, y'all beating each other's ass.
Chloe was like, "Oh no, y'all need to get up."
Girl,
out of
she
my
got that
house.
Windex so quick. Oh, hell no. Because I would have thought the same thing. That's a very white wall. And there's a lot of makeup.
Yes.
So, I'd be like, if I was Chloe and I was OCD, I'd be very worried about that wall transfer. Yeah. Michael, do you have any final thoughts on it?
Well, I basically pretty much agree with both of you. I think the only thing I would say that I don't think has been said is that nepotism doesn't hurt anyone ultimately, unless, like you said, Janice, it comes down to like government positions. Like you said,
Really just government positions.
Just government positions or even corporate positions, like, if
it's like a Fortune 500 company.
Right. Like you're putting people in positions where they're, in charge of nuclear codes, literally.
Right.
That is really dangerous,
Not to have the right people.
You have to have the right people. And you can't just say, oh, I know this person needs my son. He can do the job.
And half the time they know their sons suck.
Yeah, they know
You know your fucking kids suck.
And yet you're putting them in this position that they don't deserve.
Or
like Donald knows his sons.
Right.
Well, he sucks. So I'm sure he's like, oh, it's my son, just like me.
Right. I'm sure Barron's gonna. I'm not here to bash Barron. I'm not bashing him at all. I'm just saying. I'm sure
about Barron.
I know. Well, I think his dad does too. But I think Barron's probably going to get some sort of
didn't he
government
get
official
named
position
to the Florida GOP delegate?
He's a delegate now, but he's going to get more than that. Yeah.
Yeah. He'll continue to. Yep.
So ultimately, my point is, I think, as a former actor, it does sting a little when I see, like Bryce Dallas Howard doesn't bother me. She's talented. But when I see someone like
Northwest. And it's going to continue.
I don't dislike the girl. I have nothing against her as a person. I'm sure she's great. I just don't like the idea of them like.
Well, it's going to continue,
right?
And she's not talented, and you can see she's not even passionate about it.
She doesn't even care. She was just walking around the stage, just like sauntering. Yeah. It just seems
that's a big role too. It's not like you're even a background character.
And she seemed lost because it seemed a lot of the background actresses having to kind of tell her, "Okay, come here," kind of push and pull her.
She can't hold a note.
Tell.
I wonder if they even brought her to practices and stuff.
I don't think so.
I actually genuinely, thought the same thing. It's funny you say that. I don't think she was at a single rehearsal. I genuinely,
if that's how it looked, yeah,
because she was just like walking, and she was just like, we can't see. Those of you that are listening can't see what I'm doing.
he's acting it out, guys.
You can't. She didn't know. People were like,
"Wait, you're going the wrong way.
Like, come here.
I know your steps better than you. Follow me."
Yeah, it was bad.
Pretty much.
So I'm not dissing on the girl. I'm just dissing I'm dissing the fact that
she was ever put in that situation.
Right,
yeah.
right.
The adults in the room didn't.
They should have known
set
better.
her up for success.
Exactly. And ultimately, I mean, I'm not trying to sound like
she's 11 years old.
I don't want to sound like a douche because I'm a former teacher and I taught 11 and 12-year-olds. I love kids, but you embarrassed the hell out of her. I mean, that's really embarrassing.
Yeah.
She's going to watch that tape and say, "Mom, what the fuck did you have me do that for?"
Which is crazy because I'm telling you, both Kanye and Kim had nothing but positive. You would think they'd be like, she could have used more practice. She was nervous or something, like even acknowledging that the performance is lackluster.
I think they do that thing with Trump that he does where he just denies and denies. It was great. It was the greatest performance I've ever seen. It was the greatest this have ever happened.
It was the greatest performance that was ever had by someone who's not in the industry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's exactly. I think that's what Kim and Kanye are doing. They're just erasing the truth, head in the sand, just calling it what it is, and saying,
because they know if they co-sign it on it, it'll probably work out.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, so that is such a again, we had the conversation a couple times about nepotism.
We thought, why not have an episode about it?
You're like, well, after this whole freaking Northwest thing, might as well talk about it.
I had some thoughts about it, so I'm glad we got it out.
Okay, good. And I think it always opens up more to a bigger picture too. So glad we talked about it as well. So, but we're gonna get out of here. It's our Sunday, and we are winding up for next week. So we will talk to you guys next week. But you guys have a good week this week. It's Wednesday, then you're listening. So have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye. And that's a wrap on the latest episode of Let Me Finish. Thank you guys for joining us for another week and listening to the latest episode. Don't forget, go like, share, and subscribe on your favorite platforms. And you guys can also follow us and see us on different platforms. I am on Instagram, and that's going to be Uniquely Janice. And then I'll also be on TikTok, Janice H, GENICEH. Michael, where can they find you?
I'm only on Instagram, and it's Kasra Salimi. And by Kasra Salimi, I mean Kasra Writes, because I changed it and I just forgot. So it's KASRA Writes, WRITES.
Yes. Jillian, where can we find you?
Instagram as well, and it's New Jillian Who Dis.
New Jillian Who Dis. All right. Well, we will talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.